Once upon a time, in a sleepy town nestled between towering mountains, there was a woman named Emma. She lived a quiet, unassuming life, always putting the needs of others before her own. A schoolteacher by profession, she had a heart full of kindness, but had often felt overlooked and undervalued. The people around her rarely noticed the quiet strength she carried, nor the sacrifices she made to keep the peace. Emma had spent years caring for her aging father, George, who had once been the proud owner of a sprawling farm. The farm had been in the family for generations, a symbol of hard work, dedication, and perseverance. But over time, George's health had declined, and the once thriving farm began to fall into disrepair. Emma's life revolved around tending to him, and her own dreams seemed to fade into the background. Then, one day out of nowhere, George passed away. Emma was left alone, grieving not only for her father, but for the life she had given up in order to care for him. The farm, once a beacon of her family's legacy, was now in danger of being sold to developers. Emma knew that she had to make a choice, to either let the farm go or fight for it. In the days following George's passing, Emma received a letter from her late father. The letter was neatly folded, its edges worn with age. She opened it, her hands trembling as she read the familiar handwriting. My dearest Emma, if you are reading this, then I am no longer with you. I've spent my life working the land, building this farm, and creating a legacy I thought would be passed down through generations. But life, as you know, does not always go as planned. You've always been the quiet one, the one who never sought the spotlight, but the one who always showed up when it mattered most. I've watched you for years, sacrificing your own happiness to care for me, and I realize now that I made a mistake in not seeing your potential sooner. This farm was never meant to be abandoned, and I trust you, Emma, to carry it forward. You are strong, capable, and more than able to restore it to its former glory. The farm is yours now, and I hope you find the courage to rebuild not just the land, but your own dreams. With all my love, George. Emma's eyes filled with tears as she set the letter down. Her father's words were a revelation, a confirmation of something she had always known deep inside. She had the strength to rebuild, to restore the farm, and to finally live a life that was her own. The very next day, Emma began her journey. She spent hours walking the fields, examining the land, and taking inventory of what could be saved. The task ahead of her was monumental, but for the first time in years, she felt a sense of purpose. She hired a small team of workers who had once helped her father, and together they began the painstaking work of rejuvenating the farm. Slowly but surely, they cleared the overgrown fields, fixed the broken fences, and planted new crops. But the challenges didn't end there. Emma's older brother, Thomas, who had long since left the family farm for the city, returned to the town. He was angry, resentful, and determined to claim the farm for himself. He arrived at the farm unannounced one afternoon, his presence commanding and unapologetic. Emma, he said, his voice laced with disdain, you have no idea what you're doing. You can't run this farm. It's too much for you. It's mine, and I'm here to take it back. Emma stood tall, her back straight as she met his gaze. This farm was never yours, Thomas. It belongs to me now, and I will do whatever it takes to keep it alive. Thomas scoffed, his face twisted in anger. You don't even know the first thing about farming. You're just a teacher. You can't possibly manage all this on your own. Emma didn't flinch. I'm not doing this alone, Thomas. I have people who believe in me, and I'm not selling out to anyone. Not now, not ever. With that, Thomas stormed off, his words a bitter echo in the wind. But Emma didn't care. She had made her decision, and she was determined to see it through. Months passed, and the farm began to thrive once again. Emma worked tirelessly, learning every aspect of the business, from the soil to the markets, pouring her heart into the land that had been her father's legacy. The workers respected her, and the once skeptical townspeople began to take notice of her efforts. But Thomas wasn't done. He took her to court, challenging her right to inherit the farm. He claimed that she was unfit to run it, that she had manipulated their father into giving it to her. The courtroom was a battleground, with Thomas's high-powered lawyers trying to tear her down, accusing her of being a fraud. Emma had one lawyer, an old family friend named James. He was calm, collected, and fiercely loyal to Emma. He presented the court with letters from their father, letters that made it clear George had always intended for Emma to inherit the farm. The letters spoke of George's deep admiration for his daughter, his regret for not seeing her strength sooner, and his hope that she would restore the farm to its rightful place. The judge read the letters carefully, and with each word, Thomas's case crumbled. In the end, the judge ruled in Emma's favor, confirming that the farm was hers to keep. Thomas left the courtroom in a rage, his dreams of reclaiming the farm shattered. With the legal battle behind her, Emma focused on expanding the farm. She introduced sustainable farming practices, partnered with local businesses, and soon the farm became known for its high-quality produce and ethical practices. Emma's reputation as a businesswoman grew, and her story became an inspiration to many. One day, Emma was contacted by a journalist from a popular magazine. They wanted to interview her about her success and the farm's transformation. Reluctantly, Emma agreed. The article was published a month later, and it told the story of how Emma turned the farm around after inheriting it from her late father. The headline read, "From Doubt to Triumph: How One Woman Revived Her Family's Legacy." The article included excerpts from George's letters, painting Emma in a light of quiet strength and resilience. The story resonated with readers, and Emma became a symbol of perseverance. As for Thomas, he became the subject of public ridicule. His once thriving business began to crumble, and soon after, his wife left him, taking everything with her. But Emma didn't gloat. She continued to work the farm, focusing on what mattered most: the land, the people who worked with her, and the community she had built. She had found a new purpose, one that was hers and hers alone. Years later, Emma hosted a community event at the farm, a harvest celebration that had become an annual tradition. People from all over town gathered to enjoy the fruits of her labor, savoring the wine and food produced on the land that had once seemed so lost. As Emma walked through the crowd, she paused by a small memorial stone that had been placed in honor of her father. It read, "In memory of George Harris, whose legacy lives on through his daughter's hands." Emma smiled, feeling a profound sense of peace. The farm was more than a business to her now. It was a testament to the power of resilience, love, and the quiet strength that had always been inside her.